Spring of Discovery, written and narrated by Mary Ann Tessmacher. Chapter 1. Dawn of Darkness. The blackness of night gave way to the brightening horizon, evidence of the early hours of twilight. A man clad in black armor trod the outskirts of the forest, waiting for the signal. "Zog," came a voice at the man's side. "Does it really have to be here?" The prophecy can only be fulfilled exactly 999 years after the last bloody battle that formed the land of Higacia. The other requirement is what brings us here, Civix. The exact location in which the battle ended. The highest tower of the Devil's Fortress is close by. When the dawn breaks, I will have the power to rule this world with an iron fist. "I don't like this place," said Civix. "Its energy reeks of him." A man in purple and black armor appeared beside the pair. "No sign of King Faustus' army, Zog." "Of course not, General Galuf. The Atlantean Council wishes for him to stay out of this matter, and it is best for the king not to anger the council." "Why would they want you to go through with this?" asked Galuf. "They don't," replied Civix, "but they would much prefer to discredit Arda than to stop us. They expect the Chosen One to deal with us. Leave it to the bureaucrats to risk the safety of innocent lives just to further their image," said Zog, lips twisting into a cynical smile. Galuf grunted noncommittedly. "Dawn is fast approaching," he announced. "I'll lead the way. Civix will cover the rear." They walked single file as Galuf had instructed. Galuf headed the group, his keen eyes darting to all sides, and Civix, a skilled wizard, readied himself for any ambush from behind. They arrived at the fortress and began to scale the highest tower. Each turned corner brought new sights of decaying bones amid scraps of rusted armor. "To think that such a horrendous battle was fought here," the general observed solemnly. "You can still taste the hate and bloodlust in the air." "Among other things," agreed Civix, inhaling deeply. They arrived at the peak of the fortress to see a single golden pedestal standing atop the tower. Zog slipped a bony hand into his pocket, felt around briefly, and removed a small orb the size of his own fist. He placed the orb on the pedestal and watched for a moment as its swirls of gold and black gleamed in the starlight. Sensing a slight change in the energy that surrounded him, Zog smiled and looked to the sky. "About time you showed up, Sage," he remarked coolly, eyes still fixed upward. Galuf and Civix turned to see the man occupying the same doorway through which they had just passed. His emerald robe matched the orb that headed his scepter. As he stepped from the shadows, electric purple ropes shot from the ground, enveloping him. Sage struggled against the glowing tendrils, his panicked expression illuminated by the tightening restraints. "You can stay there for a minute," growled Zog. "It's time for me to fulfill my destiny." "Please don't do this," pleaded Sage. "This isn't you. I'm sorry I didn't meet your perfect expectations as a pupil. I just didn't want you to fulfill my destiny," finished Zog. He spoke icily, calculating, but a white-hot passion burned in his eyes. An arc of sunlight peeked over the mountain, illuminating the already iridescent golden orb. Zog raised his scepter over his head, and in a fast and fluid motion struck the orb with an earth-shaking force. Its glass's facade shattered and evaporated into a thin smoke. Two swirling beams of light emerged from its center, circling one another in a hypnotic dance. At once the purple light dripped beneath the gold and broke outward into Zog's staff, enriching his body with a purple glow. The gold light flew off into the forests to the southeast. "So much power," said Zog, inhaling deeply. Finally he turned to face Sage for the first time. "Let's finish this." He approached Sage and aimed his scepter at him. It started to glow purple. He turned around and shot the spell at a woman who had appeared behind him. The spell impacted a blue barrier that she threw up in front of her. She drew two swords and threw one behind Zog, slicing the ropes that bound Sage. Sage got up and grabbed the sword and tossed it to the woman. They both jumped to the ground below. "Go find the Chosen One!" screamed the woman. "What about you, Kendra?" asked Sage. "Don't worry about me," she assured. "I will stand my ground. The Chosen One is our hope now. It's up to you to find them." Sage ran off into the woods as Zog looked on. Cywix was locked in combat with Kendra, soon to be overpowered. General Galuf was about to give chase to Sajay. General Galuf, deal with Kendra. Cywix, I want you to follow Sajay. Zog took a dagger out and waved his hand over it, making it glow back. He tossed it to Cywix. Let's see who got the honor of being the chosen one.